All right, hey Jeepers. This is a 1989 Cherokee. Watched a lot of videos on how to do headliners and other things, which sometimes had good ideas, sometimes not very good ideas. And I did some experiments on my headliner, which was blowing apart the fiberglass backer board, repairing it with sheetrock, fiberglass tape and things like that, and worked out really well. I wish I'd filmed it for all the YouTubers and Jeepers because it worked, and now I don't have any record of it. So we're going to show this and see if any of these things actually work. So as you know, the 89 Jeep has an option for a cup holder because nobody thought of that back in the day, but it's flimsy, rattles around, and is shallow, so you can't get a tall drink to stay in there and it'll spill over on your sink or on your seat. Another option I've seen is this little job right here, which you can jam down in there. And if you've got a skinny person next to you, maybe that'll work. Nobody I know has a butt that narrow, so that's kind of not really going to work all that well. Yeah, forget this idea. But we're going to try something new. It's going to take some creativity for an option which I haven't seen on YouTube yet. And we're robbing an idea from the drift boats, which you'll see out there on the front of the Jeep. This Jeep is being built to tow a drift boat and to have the public in, but also we want it to be public friendly, so clean and working. This is the kind of a cup holder which is in the casting brace of those drift boats. And what I'm thinking is bore a hole in the top of the armrest and see if we can get something that is deep enough that it might hold a little larger drink without spilling over. Let's see what this bottle looks like. That's a little bit dicey, but it's certainly better than that, which doesn't work at all. So we're going to try to put this right in the middle of the armrest. If it doesn't work, I found a replacement online, so nothing to lose. We can still put a fresh one on if this blows apart and doesn't do the job. So here's some things that I've thought about. One is this is an armrest for a purpose. So somebody like me likes to have their elbow on there. I don't want to have a cup holder back here where I'm going to be knocking over a drink. So really the only spot that's viable really is kind of close to the front for me. Maybe somebody else could put it back there if they have a smaller body. Not for me. Also, we've got the e-brake housing, which I don't know if you can see it, falls down into the middle of the armrest slot. So I was concerned about hitting that and not being able to have it seat all the way. However, we've got enough elevation with the cushion that I think that we can place that where we need once we clear inside of the compartment. So I did some measurement here. I'm going to get my tape measure. By my calculations, from the front of the armrest to about where I'm going to try to drill this hole is 5 3/4 of an inch, and midline right here, if I try to center it, about 3 inches. If I place this over the center of the armrest, we've got about a 6-inch width. So there's my mark right there. What I'm going to try to do is get a hole saw, bore a hole, seat it in there, put a little silicone around that, and see if it'll work. Okay, so let me get my screwdriver, and we'll take this off, and we'll reconvene outside the Jeep. All right, so we have a 3.5-inch hole saw with an arbor, and this is the fresh one. I want to try to get as clean a cut as possible. Don't know how it's going to work on the fabric. It may just shred it. I just don't know. But that's the experiment. If you see this on the YouTube, it probably worked. All right, so we're going to tighten this up.
What do you think about pre-cutting the material?
Well, we could mark it and try it with a utility knife. I want to try this just to see what it does. All right, so 3.5 inches. I stuck this in there before I put it on the arbor, and it is barely wide enough right there, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of a force in if this works. All right, so let's put that right on are marked. See if I can get that locked into the leg vise. What I want to do is look for when I just barely penetrate with the centerpiece so that I can, first of all, make sure I'm not hitting my screws, and also come at it from the opposite side and get a clean cut from that side. Not coming through yet. There we go. That's what I wanted right there. So now I'm going to extract the hole saw. Now I'll come through from this side because I think I'll get a cleaner cut. Let's start in reverse, I think. And then there we have it. Let's check the fit. Ooh! So close. Looks like I needed 3 5/8. No, that's going to be a Bearcat. Yeah, let me see if I've got a larger hole saw. Now the rub's going to be centering it. So for future reference, 3 1/2 inches does not quite do it. However, obviously with a clean hole saw, we get a really nice cut. So we're going to see what we can do to get a better size on that. Okay, since this is a learning curve we're going through here, I'm going to show you where we're at and the mistake that we've made and the successes. Obviously, we've got a really nice clean cut here and bored all the way through with that technique with a nice clean surface on the inside as well. All right, so the downside, our mistake was I needed slightly larger than 3 1/2 inches in order to let this seat down in there. I think it'll be fine if I squish it through the foam on the top. Problem is that the larger section of the cup holder binds up with the internal piece of the armrest. I think that the smaller diameter on the end will be fine coming through here. So I need to find a way to carve out a little bit this inside piece right here. My Rube Goldberg side is thinking just get my hole saw and try to wallow it out at an angle or take a file to it. All I have is a 4-inch hole saw, next size up, which is maybe a little bit too big for this because it doesn't give you a whole lot of leeway for the overhanging lip. So I'm thinking that the correct hole saw size might have been 3 3/4 to allow that to really work well instead of 3 1/2. So you guys get to learn from my mistake. All right, so let's see what happens if I kind of take this hole saw, get in here and try to work it around a little bit on that second layer of the armrest. See if I can make it open up a bit for us so that that will slip in. I don't want to push it down too far and damage that nice clean surface right there too much. So should have been slightly bigger than 3 1/2, but it is what it is. So we're going to try to make this work and see if we can come up with a little bit better hole saw, or a little bit better cup holder, I should say. Again, I'm having a hard time finding a way to brace this thing other than between my legs. Let's see what we get, if anything. Oh, better. I need to open that up just a little bit more, but boy, if I can keep it clean, that's going to be pretty nice, I think. Alright, so actually, I'm so close. Looks like I need to take a little bit more off this corner right there. Get that cord out of the way. Close, but I'm not quite there. A little bit more. Maybe I'll try to see what it looks like from this side. Hey, what do you know? You know what? I don't think I even need to silicone that. That looks pretty darn spiffy. Got a little bit of a nick right there. But that's what it looks like on the back side. So that was with a 3.5 inch hole saw and a little bit of creative drill work to make it work. Let's install that back into the Jeep. Put a cup in it, put the arm on the back of the armrest and see how that works out. Here we go. We're towing a drift boat to the Klamath River. We have our Coke in the holder, or down there where it fits a little better. We have the larger cup right there. It's not a real tight fit, but it's certainly workable where that is not workable. I know from years of experience that this works fine with most coffee cups. That seems to be okay there. That's workable. That is not. I was thinking about taking this away. I think I might just leave that there and leave this here for the occasion when I need a coffee cup or a larger container for my drink. Okay, so there you have it. I think that works okay. I don't want to have two. I've thought about putting two in, but I still need a place for my elbow. There you have it, 1989 Jeep, retrofitted with a cup holder in the armrest. And we'll catch you on the next video.